Hello students. In today's section we discuss about image formation by the spherical mirrors. In previous section we discussed that spherical mirrors are two types. One is concave mirror, another one is convex mirror, and we also learn about some standard terms. Or you watched the previous video? If you didn't watch, first watch that one, then only come to this class. Okay, so to understand the image formation by the spherical mirror, you must be know about some standard light rays which are incident on that mirror, which are incident on the spherical mirror and their corresponding reflected rays. Okay, let us see the first one. Listen carefully. These are very important for the next sections. Incident ray parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so we know principal axis is nothing but passing through the center of curvature and the pole. A line which is passing through the center of curvature and pole is called as principal axis. Now you may consider one ray which is parallel to the principal axis and touches at a point on the concave mirror. Understand? Where it touches, just at that point, draw a normal. In last section we said normal is always passing from the center of curvature to the point where it strikes the mirror. Now from angle of incidence definition, this is the incident ray and this is the normal. The angle between incident ray and normal is theta. Okay, now from the law of reflection, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So with the same angle it is reflected back. Okay, so this point is called as principal focus. Okay, from the next time onwards we didn't draw normal angles and everything. Why? What we understand from this explanation, any ray which is parallel to the principal axis, incident on the concave mirror or convex mirror, it may pass us through the principal focus. Understand? Now see, for convex mirror we may consider one ray which is parallel to the principal axis. Okay, now after this point what we said, it is the divergent mirror. So reflected ray will be divergent from here. Now if we extended this reflected ray, this is passing through the principal focus. This is virtual focus and this is the real focus. Do you remember? Now this is the C and this is B. Are you understand now? So all the explanations related to the image formation we said yesterday, we may consider only the paraxial rays. Okay, paraxial rays are very nearer to the principal axis. For understanding purpose only we draw like this. Or understand now? Draw those two diagrams now. Now the second one is incident ray passing through the center of curvature. Okay, see, let it will be the center of curvature. Now what he say? Incident ray passing through the center of curvature. If any ray is passing through the center of curvature and touches the concave mirror, then what happens? Okay, so here, where is the normal? Normal is always passing through the center of curvature and the point where it strikes the mirror. So this is the direction of the normal. Whenever it is incident in the direction of normal, angle of incidence is 0. When angle of incidence is 0, from loss of reflection, angle of reflection also 0. That means this light ray now retraces its path in backward direction. Or understand? The simple say, when a light ray passing through the center of curvature and touches the mirror, then again it is reflected back in the same direction. Or understand? Now come to this case. If any light ray will be coming like this, okay, it is appears to passes through the center of curvature. Okay, then what happens after reflection from the mirror? It is retraces its path. Which direction is incident? On the same direction it will be reflected back. Okay, so this is the second one. What we learned in this one, incident ray pass into the center of curvature. After reflection from the mirrors, they are again retraces its path. Clear now? Draw those diagrams. Now the third one, when incident ray passing through the focus. Okay, so this is the principal focus now. Now take a ray of light which is passing through the principal focus. Okay, now it touches the mirror at one point now. Draw the normal. Normal is always passing through the center of curvature and point of incidence now. So with what angle it touches, with the same angle it is reflected back now. So just observe the reflected light ray now. This reflected light ray is parallel to the principal axis. Okay, when it is possible, when a ray of light passing through the principal focus touches the concave mirror, then after reflection it gets parallel to the principal axis. Or understand? Coming to the convex mirror, see, if ray of light incident like this, if you extended this line, this is passes through the principal focus or not? So what we learn here, after reflection, this reflected ray from the mirror is gets parallel to the principal axis. Is it clear? So this is the third one. Okay, understand? One more time, listen carefully. If ray of light passing through the principal focus and touches the mirror, then after reflection it gets parallel to the principal axis. It is satisfied for concave mirror and is also satisfied for convex mirror. But the only variation is here we have the real focus, here we have the virtual focus. Okay, please draw those diagrams. Now the last one is the ray of light incident on pole of the mirror. What is the pole? Pole is nothing but the center of the mirror, we said now. So now the ray of light is incident on the pole of the mirror directly. Okay, now you may draw one normal which is passing through the center of curvature and the pole. That means here the normal is nothing but the principal axis now. So whenever if you take principal axis as the normal, then the incident ray makes some angle theta now, then reflected ray also make the angle theta only. That indicates when a ray of light incident on the pole of the mirror, after reflection it will be makes the same angle with the principal axis. Okay, what we learn? If any ray incident on the plane of the mirror at some angle, then after reflection it again goes with the same angle. Or understand? So these are the 4 standard ray of lights. Standards light rays. Is it clear? So what we learn in the first case, if the light ray parallel to the principal axis touches the mirror, after reflection it passes through the principal focus. Second one, if any light ray which is passing through the center of curvature touches the mirror, then it again reflected back in the same direction. Third case, if any light ray which is passing through the principal focus and touches the mirror, then reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. The fourth one is the ray of light incident on the pole of the mirror with some angle. With that same angle, it again reflected back. I understand? Okay, please note it down. Now, relation between the focal length and radius of curvature of spherical mirror. It's a very important question. Listen carefully. For this, let us try to understand this one here. Okay, so consider one concave mirror. This is applicable for both spherical mirror here, convex mirror and concave mirror, but I may explain only for concave mirror. Understand now? Let us take one concave mirror. Okay, this is the pole and this is the principal axis. Principal axis is nothing but passing through the center of curvature and pole. Okay, now take one ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. Now only we learn that after reflection it may passes through the principal focus now. So let it will be principal focus, then the light ray will be passes like this. Okay, now draw a normal from the center of curvature to the point. Let this point will be taken as some A. Okay, now if this angle is theta, then this angle is also theta. Okay, these rows are parallel to each other. Just observe. Here we consider two rays, and what is this? Normal now. So if the incident ray makes some angle theta here and adjacent angle also theta or not? Remember in mathematics we learned this one. Okay, these two are the parallel rays and this is the normal. Okay, if the one ray makes some angle theta, adjacent angle also theta or not? So this is also theta. Okay, now what do we want? Relation between the focal length and radius of curvature. What is focal length? Focal length is nothing but distance from the principal focus to the pole. So this is the focal length. And what is radius of curvature? Radius of curvature is nothing but distance from the pole to the center of curvature. So we want the relation between the F and R now. Okay, now to get this result between the relation between the F and R, do one thing. Make one perpendicular, draw a perpendicular from the F to this normal. Okay, perpendicular means it is 90 degree na? Let it will be some B. What is CA? CA is nothing but radius of curvature only. So this perpendicular, now divide the CA into two parts now. This becomes R by 2. This is also R by 2. Is it right or wrong? We said yesterday now, CP value is radius of curvature and also CA is radius of curvature. Now whenever you draw a perpendicular from F to B, then it divides the CA into two equal parts. One is R by 2, another one is R by 2. Okay. Now let The distance between the C to F is some x. Now see this triangle. This is F and this is B and this is C now. Is theta and this distance is r by 2 and we want to know about what is the value of x. Okay, and this is 90 degree. We know from this diagram CF is nothing but hypotenuse now and this is adjacent now. We know the adjacent, we want hypotenuse. Let us take cos angle. The formula for the cos is adjacent by hypotenuse. So adjacent r by 2 by x. Okay, can you write this one like r by 2x? Clear? So what is the value of x now? X is equal to r by 2 cos theta now. X is equal to r by 2 cos theta. Now see the diagram properly. This is r, this is f and this is x. So can you write r is equal to f plus x? R is equal to f plus x. Right? Therefore, f is equal to r minus x now. So f is equal to r minus x value what you got? R by 2 cos theta now. So see here, focal length is equal to the r minus r by 2 cos theta. So this is the relation between the focal length and radius of curvature. Okay, this relation is applicable for both marginal rays and also paraxial rays. Okay, so if suppose we may consider only about the paraxial rays. For paraxial rays, we said theta is very small. If theta is very small, then cos theta value is nearly equal to 1 or not. Okay, if cos theta value nearly 1, then substitute the value here. F is equal to r minus r by 2. R minus r by 2 value is nothing but r by 2 now. So what is the relation between the focal length and radius of curvature for paraxial rays? F is equal to r by 2. That means F is always exactly lies between the C and P because F values got r by 2. Understand or not? Okay, this formula is applicable only for paraxial rays. This formula is applicable for both paraxial rays and the marginal rays. Okay, so general formula if they said, keep this one. For paraxial rays only, F is equal to r by 2. Okay, one more time listen carefully. We are considering one ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis, which is incident on that mirror at some point A. There we may draw a normal. Let this angle theta and this is also angle theta from the loss of reflection. And if it is theta, then adjacent angle it is also theta. Now we would like to find the relation between the focal length and radius of curvature. What is focal length? Focal length is nothing but distance between the pole and the principal focus. Radius of curvature, distance between the pole and center of curvature. So we want the relation between the F and R. For that, I may draw one perpendicular onto this normal, then it touches the point B. If you know the value of x, then from the diagram R is equal to F plus x. To find the x, I take the triangle CBF. From triangle CBF, I found x is equal to r by 2 cos theta. That value substitute in this formula, we got the relation. Are you understand now? Note it down. You must always remember that the focal length of the spherical mirror is independent on medium in which the mirror is considered. Okay, whether it is the air or whether it is in the water, whatever may be, the focal length is always independent on the medium on which it is present. Okay, focal length depends on the radius of curvature and the angle through which the ray is incident on that mirror. Clear now? So it is independent on medium in which we take that mirror and also wavelength of the incident light. Always keep in mind. Now, sign conventions. Okay. In analysis of the image formation by the spherical mirrors, we may consider object distance or image distance, focal length, radius of curvature. Okay, all these are measured with the proper sign. Sign means maybe it is plus or minus. Okay, those are based on these sign conventions. Understand now? So there are some sign conventions they said you must be followed for anywhere. While draw the image formation from the plane mirror, you must be apply these sign conventions. Okay, let us see what are the sign conventions. So first one, all distances measured from pole of the mirror. Anytime, okay, you must be remember this one. All distances measured from the pole of the mirror. Let us take a concave mirror here. Okay, this is pole now, and this is principal axis now. Okay, what is the first point says? All the distance measured from the pole of the mirror. For suppose if you take this is the principal focus and this is the center of curvature. Okay, so the distance from pole to principal focus is called as focal length. Pole to the center of curvature is taken as the R. All the distances measured from pole of the mirror only. Are understand now? Second one, the distances are measured in the direction of incident ray or along the direction of incident ray are taken as positive. For suppose the ray of light will be coming in this direction. Okay, if the distances measured in the direction of the incident light ray, then they are considered as positive, and the distances measured opposite to the direction of incident ray are taken as negative. So if you measure the distances opposite direction to the light, you may consider as negative. Understand? Third one, for size of the object, keep in mind, size of the object above the principal axis, its height is considered as positive. This is principal axis now. Above the principal axis, any readings you considered about the related to the height taken as positive, and below the principal axis taken as negative. Understand? Now, acute angles measured from the principal axis. Sometimes you may consider the ray of light which is makes at an angle with the principal axis. Okay, this is only the acute angles. If it is in the anti-clockwise sense, okay, then this angle is taken as positive. If it is in clockwise sense means you may come below the principal axis. Below the principal axis, this angle is taken as negative. Are you understand? These are the sign conventions. What are that? The first one, all distances measured from pole of the mirror. Second, distances measured in the direction of light considered as positive. In opposite direction of the incident light ray, it is taken as negative. Third one, for the size of the object above the principal axis, taken as positive. Below the principal axis, taken as negative. If the acute angle made by the light ray with the principal axis, okay, in anti-clockwise sense, taken as positive. In clockwise sense, taken as negative. Okay, please note down all these sign conventions. Okay, let us take one example. I am considering one concave mirror. Okay, all the sign conventions are applicable for both concave mirror and convex mirror. Okay, see, for example, here F is the principal focus now. We know this one. C, center of curvature. Now O is the object. O is called as object. I is called as image. Okay, so from object, light rays will be incident on that mirror and come back. Now my requirement was focal length, object distance, radius of curvature, image distance, whether positive or negative. Okay, that is I want. So what is the first point? All the distances measured from the pole of the mirror. This is the pole of the mirror now. So from P to principal focus, it's called as focal length now. P to center of curvature is called as radius of curvature now. Now listen, P to object distance is taken as U. The distance between the pole to the object is taken as U, called as object distance. The distance between pole and image is called as image distance V. Now say, by reading all these sign conventions, which one is positive, which one is negative? Okay, pause the video, read all these points and try to say which one is positive and which one is negative. Have you got the values? Check once. All distances measured from pole. So I measure from the pole. Second one, distances measured in the direction of incident light rays taken as positive. But you are measuring all the distances in the opposite direction to the incident light ray. So U is negative, V is negative, F is negative, R also negative. Because everything you measured in the opposite direction to the incident light. Okay, those who got all the values as negative, they understand the sign conventions properly. Okay, can you go through another example? Note it down first. So now I am considering the convex mirror. The ray diagram given like this. Just found which one is positive and which one is negative by applying all the sign conventions. Okay, try. Here, have you found the values? Now I explain. This is a pole now. From pole to the object is called as object distance. It is called as U. Pole to the principal focus, focal length F. Pole to the center of curvature, radius of curvature R. Now this is convex mirror now. Convex mirror always forms the divergent now. So this is divergent line. Sorry, this is a divergent ray now. Now if we extend it in the backward direction, it appears to be forms the image here or not. Okay, so from pole to the image, the distance is called as image distance V. Right or not? Now see, you are measuring the U in the opposite direction of the incident light ray. That's why it is negative. Understand? V measured in the direction of incident ray. F measured in direction of incident ray. R measured in the direction of incident ray. So everything in the direction of incident ray, that's fine. V positive, F positive, R also positive. Is it clear? So the distances measured in the direction of incident ray, they are taken as positive, in opposite direction taken as negative. Okay, I understand this one. So this type of ray diagrams will be continuously coming in the spherical mirrors. So for understanding those values of U and F, all these, whether positive or negative, these sign conventions are very, very important. Okay, I understand now. Thank you.